Hello, friends on Facebook and friends throughout the community. It is a Friday afternoon in the first week of January, and Crook County School District is here with you back on the Fireside Chat. We had a very nice Christmas break, refreshed, and we are back. We have been saying we aren't quite at cruising altitude, but we are up, still experiencing a bit of turbulence. We haven't turned off the seatbelt lights, but we are flying, and we are grateful that you're here today. Let me introduce our team today. Actually, we have Jason Carr, our Director of Communications, who's backstage running everything. And then I am accompanied by my wonderful friend, Dr. Joel Hoff, who is in an office down the hall, and we are coming to you over Zoom today. So welcome. And we don't have a long program for you today, but we wanted to be consistent and let you be counting on us and fulfilling those obligations and be here on this Friday afternoon so that we can give you information and we can answer questions. So welcome, and we're glad to see you.
Dr. Johnson, I am looking forward to, I don't know, it's been probably a couple months since we've done it in the room together. And I think we're getting close to getting back to be able to do that. And I am looking forward to those days when we are sitting in your office doing these, scrambling to get the video camera and everything synced in time. But it's always fun. And I look forward to being together to do the fireside chats. We're close.
I have been trying to think up a new prank for you and trying to find some appealing puppet that you would put on your hand and
you love to prank
community with, but yeah, so I'm open to any good pranks, but I'm looking for one. And when we're back together in the same room, you bet.
I'm sure you'll cook something up for us.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
So did we, we've got a few things to show. We've got our normal chart, but we've added some extra details to it. And then did we also want to talk about the planned second semester, or we're still developing all of that?
Well, I think there's probably some we can share on that. And so just to inform everybody, we were just on a Zoom with our health department director, Muriel. What's Muriel's last name?
Jason knows it really well. It's
a hyphenated name.
It's D. Laverne Brown.
So we are so fortunate to have the people in our health department that we do, because they have been extremely supportive in Crook County. When I hear stories from around the state about the lack of collaboration from the health department, I just feel even more grateful and blessed. And I'm going to even say lucky, because we have a great health department. We are working very hard right now to bring vaccination opportunities to our school teachers. And we think we'll have some good news by next Friday's Fireside Chat. I don't want to get anybody in a pickle by committing something that we're not ready to commit, but we do believe that we will be able to vaccinate or provide vaccinations for our teachers very soon.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
So let's look at your metrics chart, Dr.
All right. It's in high demand.
Never let us down.
And one of our school board members, Patty Norris, she showed me how to go straight into presentation mode, and she taught me before break, and I'm like, I need to give her a call because I already did not do it how I wanted to do it. But let's talk about the chart. Can you see that on your screen, Dr. Johnson?
Yes, great chart.
So some of this looks very normal. So we've got this blue line that shows the bi-weekly cases in Crook County over the last two weeks. So this most recent data, 78, was for the 2-week span from December 20th to January 3rd. A couple of things that folks might notice, we've added a couple lines on here, and this is something we've been tracking internally, but haven't added it to this chart until now. So this gray line is going to tell you how many students, Crook County School District students, were in quarantine based on recommendations from either our school nurses or the health department. So that's just another interesting piece of information. And then this orange line shows how many staff have been quarantined. And I really want to make an important distinction. That is not how many folks have positive COVID cases. Those are folks that have just been, to some degree, in some way as part of an exposure and are just doing a quarantine. So that's something we track very closely. Obviously, one thing we're excited to see as you look at data is, we peaked as a county back, it looks like this time frame from November 29th to December 12th. We've had a kind of nice decrease. We know that this is going to maybe go up a little bit as after the holidays. You've probably heard the discussion that after the holidays, these things tend to trend back up. But we will continue to watch this, continuing to monitoring, and continuing to collaborate with our health department on all these numbers to make sure we're keeping everyone as safe as possible.
One thing I think, can you put that back up for just a or two? One thing I think that is very interesting in looking at this chart, and I have appreciated it because I think it helps us really see the difference between activity out in the community and then the low activity in the school. So you can see down in the section of the chart that's green, that was the original level that the state was asking us to maintain in order to keep schools open. But you can see that schools continue to be a very safe place. And when they study schools, one of the reasons that we believe that they are staying a safe place for students is because people are following the protocols, those things like wear a mask, wash, stay 6 feet apart. And we are finding that it's pretty effective, actually very effective when we do that. Okay,
and one other thing to
I
add
just wanted to really emphasize how we are able to stay in the green even when things get crazy out there in the community.
One thing I just wanted to add that it came out over winter break, so we haven't talked about it on a Fireside chat yet. I think it was December 23rd, the governor came out and said these metrics for everyone across the state are no longer requirements, but recommendations. So it kind of, we had a special designation called Safe Harbor, and it made it so that we had to continue to collaborate with our health department. But so now essentially the whole state, these metrics are now just recommendations rather than requirements in terms of whether if you go above 60, you have to be in comprehensive distance learning. So still a ton of collaboration with the health department, but that was a big announcement that came out over winter break.
So there's a question on Facebook Live that says, when are our kids going back to school? So I think it's super important to say that right now, kindergarten through 5th grade, they are all in school full-time, 5 days a week, and teachers are teaching them face-to-face. We still have our Grizzly Mountain Home HomeLink partnership, where there's still about 250 kids whose parents are homeschooling them at home. We still have our Crook County School Online available, and I'm not sure what the numbers are in that off the top of my head. Is that around a couple hundred, Joel?
Crook County Online option. So full-time students, I think K-5, that's probably down to about 40 or so. 6-12, there's some hybrid where kids take a couple classes through Crook County Online and some are full-time. I think there's probably about 100 full-time Crook County Online option kids, but there's a lot of kids that take a couple classes online and a couple in person in either the middle school or the high school.
I think it's very interesting to let people know that we had at Crooked River, we had 25 students, I think we're at 24 actually students enroll this first week back. And I just heard up at Barnes Butte that we had about 5 to 10 enrolling up at Barnes Butte. I know the high school has enrolled and the middle school has enrolled as well. We are planning on being able to open full-time with all students, so that would include 6 through 12, at the beginning of second semester, which is
January 26th.
Yes, January the 26th. And so we're really working hard on trying to make vaccinations or work with the health department to make vaccinations available to staff before then. Some staff do have the opportunity to be vaccinated if they're working with a high-risk population. And so we can probably get some of our teachers the opportunity to be vaccinated before then, but we're really working hard on, we're hoping that we can have the first round of vaccines available to teachers before our kids come back full time every day. But we are at this point moving forward with those plans to have our students back in the school at the high school and middle school on the 26th of January. So we know that it's a change and we're moving towards it and we're trying to work out every single snag, but we're confident that we'll be able to enter that schedule by the 26th of January. What else do we have?
You know, those were our main topics that I know we wanted to cover. We also always like to give folks the Q&A. You're better at wait time than I am.
So Rachel, we have got your question. Are there any other people on Facebook or YouTube that you're trying to get information from us? Anything we can answer? I think it's important to know that in the schools, we still are wearing masks. We're still adhering to the 35 square foot per person. We're doing social distancing. Our schedules are creative and they are very well thought out. I was kind of trying to explain how complicated it is to some people this week. And it reminded me of the math problem where you have 3 tigers and 4 railroad cars, and you're trying to move the tigers from San Diego to Philadelphia, and you can't have tiger A with tiger B, and tiger C has to be with tiger A. It's very, very complicated. And our staff and team have done a great job of figuring out all of the strategies and ways and methods to bring the kids back. So we're very grateful and proud of them and just want to make sure that at every opportunity we're saying thank you to them because we couldn't do it without them.
Dr. Johnson, I thought it was like you've got a coyote and a chicken and a bear on different sides of a river, and you've got a canoe, one canoe.
Yes.
And you got to figure out the order.
Yes. I think my math problem's a little harder than yours.
I hadn't heard the tiger ones until you were talking about that today. It's like, oh, that sounds
That is a true question off of the graduate record exam. So I probably have just broached some kind of confidentiality and I'm going to
be. Validity just went out the window.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Andrea, for your comments, and Ashley. Appreciate that. Just going to hang out for a little bit and see if we get any more questions. I know our staff are probably still busy with planning and students, so we don't have a lot of staff on here, but I'm glad to answer any questions for any of our team.
I like your analogy, Dr. Johnson, talking about, you're on the airplane and there's always that announcement like 20 minutes in where they're like, we've reached our cruising altitude. I'm taking the seatbelt safety light off. And it's like, we're climbing and we're almost to that cruising altitude, but that safety light is still on. Like we're still definitely have all these precautionary measures in place. We're closer to cruising through this, but we definitely still have a lot in place.
I know that a lot of people are very eager to see our athletics loosen up, and I'm just, I always look forward to Groundhog Day because I think we're looking at better weather, and I think we can have more activities when the weather gets a little better, but we are still restricted at this point in the indoor athletics. So we're doing everything we can, and I know our coaches are eager and our students are eager in our community, but we're not quite there where they're going to loosen up the athletics yet. For us to stay open, we need to follow the precautions and follow that blueprint, and the blueprint doesn't allow us to have those contact sports yet.
So Dr. Johnson, as you're reading the questions coming in, one interesting thing that folks might be interested in is January 19th. So in a week and a half or so, the state does plan a regular update to their Ready School Safe Learners guidance. So we do expect some changes to the guidance to come then. So that will be that'll be one of those dates. Mark your calendar, because things may change slightly in terms of the state guidance.
We have seen some possible edits, and it's not going to keep our kids from going to school. So don't be concerned about that. It's just a matter of how to be safe. So we have a great question on here from Andrea about our substitutes. It was an incredible outpouring of community support. So I want you to know that people that actually went through the process it cost them about $250 to apply for that license, to go through the fingerprinting, to actually go through the orientation, and to be prepared to be a sub. I was in the orientation earlier this week, and we had a retired gentleman in that group who had fulfilled all the obligations, and then he got down to the point in the handbook where it told how much they get paid, and he said, "I didn't even know we were getting paid. I thought we were volunteering." So it's not a lot of money, but it is hopefully will pay that person back for the $250 or more that they had to pay to become a certified sub with teacher standards and practice submission. But we ended up increasing our sub pool by over 25%. That is an incredible, just a big plus for this community. People who join that sub list, they have to have a degree, and they have to follow all of the guidelines, because we want to have people who are qualified in front of our kids. But it was very interesting. I know I met a principal who has retired up in the metro area and moved down to Crook County this last summer, and she is now signed up to substitute in our schools. There's some fabulous people that have signed up to substitute in our schools, and we're very grateful of the community support around that. And I think there's going to be some more communication coming out on that. At this point, we're not experiencing a staffing shortage, but I think that's because we have had reduced cases in the community, and we're coming off of that quiet time during the Christmas break. But we are prepared when that ramps back up again, if it should ramp back up. So, and I'm hoping those awesome subs will pick up some opportunities in Crook County School District, because it's a great place to be able to see the school system from the inside. So thanks to those people in the community, and thanks to the HDESD for doing that orientation over Christmas break and throughout this week, getting people ready to serve as substitutes.
Dr. Johnson,
Yes.
I can actually share a document from our HR Director, Sean Corrigan, about the substitute numbers if you'd like.
Yeah, do that. That would be great to see that.
Okay, let me pull this up.
Sorry, I was just watching the feed on
No
Facebook.
worries. So that's basically where we are at, and the qualifications of folks who have signed up to be substitute teachers.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Can you zoom in a hair on that?
Yep.
So I see 59 members expressed interest, 22 substitutes will be ready to go and went through the process. I think one of the cool things about this whole kind of community support was we had some people like, wait, who are these people that are going to be becoming substitutes? And we wanted to make sure people rest assured that there's a thorough vetting process that people go through, and background checks. But one of the coolest thing was the type of people we got. I mean, I'm probably missing some, but we had retired doctors, retired principals, a lawyer, business owners, a math consultant that we use as a district. So it just shows how cool Crook County is, to be honest, and just the unity and community coming together to support our schools. So it was a really fun experience to kind of see develop.
So, and I know Mr. Corrigan, our HR Director, expects that number of certified subs that's at 22 to continue to go up. So we should be good to go for the rest of this school year. So
Yeah, that's a cool list right there, Jason. That's what I was getting at. We have a chiropractic doctor, a medical doctor, elementary principal, someone with a master, an MBA, a forensic psychology. What a cool thing for our kids to learn from these sort of people. So really, really encouraging, and just a sign how great Crook County is.
All right, so I'm not seeing any more questions come in, but it's been a pleasure to talk to you today, and we are always here and eager to hear your questions and to hear your comments, figure out how we could get better. We value customer service, we value communication, we value people and staff. That's the bedrock of who we are in Crook County. So we look forward to seeing you next Friday. And if you need anything between now and then, we are here and ready to serve. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.